Marvin, wake up. Episode 50, halfway to 100. Ain't that fucking amazing?
I've spoke to you far too often in my life.
What's that?
I'm just thinking about how much we must have spoken over the course of the last couple of years. Probably more than anyone. Probably even more than my parents.
I was going to say, I probably speak to you more than I speak to my fucking own wife.
Well, you've always had a thing for slightly tubby young boys. Especially when I shave, which I have because you told me you'd give me 50 quid of my weekly allowance on our sugar daddy arrangement. What are you writing down? This is the dullest start to a podcast we've ever fucking had.
I'll wait for you to say something fucking interesting.
You hold me.
Now that was fucking funny. Now for the listener, right, this morning we were having our weekly team meeting on the Monday. Mondays is always a bit longer. And Connor revealed he was a naughty boy and hadn't done the things he was supposed to do last week. You know what he said? I need to be held. You fucking homo!
You've taken this completely out of context.
Oh, fuck off. You know, when people say that, they'll say something fucking pathetic or outrageous or weak and needy, and they say, oh, you took it out of context. No, we didn't. You said I need to be held. That's what you fucking said. Holly was there.
In the context of the conversation, first and foremost, it was in relation to a task that I had fucking completed. It wasn't in relation to...
Now that is a fucking lie.
That is not a fucking lie. It was to do with the LinkedIn battle plan.
You were a fucking cheat, man.
I'm not a fucking cheat. This was to do with the LinkedIn shit.
Yeah, and you didn't do it.
No, it wasn't. I hadn't done the ads. This was in relation to replying.
You admit that you hadn't done it.
Me. Yeah, but I'd done the messaging part, replying to the people, because people want to talk to me, John. They message me.
And I said, fucking not. Because then I said,
what I meant to say, I need to be held accountable, but I stopped at a bad point and I went, I need to be held. And that was it, silence.
Yeah. So effectively, what happened was you admitted that the people on LinkedIn are not talking to you because they're not replying to your messages. And then you said, I need to be held.
But at a certain point, they don't want to talk to me anymore.
Yeah, the important bit, you know, the bit that really matters. So we can actually make some fucking money and pay Marvin's bills, which are too big. Marvin, You're too expensive. You're not really, mate.
Anyway, I do need to be held because...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What do you mean?
You know, you remind me of all these bankers.
You're a fucking cunt. Look at the state of your fucking vest. Yeah? Straight out of fucking Brokeback Mountain, that is.
I don't get your point. You're the one who's fucking... You're the one who seems to be... Oh, I'll tell you what it is. You're spending so much time on LinkedIn, you're catching it from these fucking weak and needy posts people are always posting. It's okay to need to be held. It's okay to feel this. As if we need some fucking weak, pathetic, needy, desperate twat to tell us it's okay to be a certain fucking way.
Hold me, say that you love me.
Oh, don't give up your fucking day job, will you? Are you doing this Are you doing this wanky fucking timesheet thing we're supposed to be doing as well?
Yeah, I haven't filled it out for the last hour, so I need to go back and fill it out for the last hour.
Fuck's sake. What's it going to be used for anyway? We don't need to just talk about it now, do we? Anyway, right. Hey, what are we talking about today? Oh yeah, that's it. Why you don't want to grow your business. Makes me laugh. I see it quite a lot. People going about growing their businesses. And what really prompted this was I saw a post from Ant, actually, our mate Anthony Manson. He was quite rightly saying that, you know, if you got to watch your overheads and things. And if you don't, you know, you get lots of cash flow, but if there's no profit in there, you are deeply fucked. which is absolutely true, of course, you know. And I would say to a lot of people, because one of the things they say when they get in touch with me, both through our business and also privately, is, oh, they want to grow. And I always, you know, my first question is, are you sure about that? Why? What actually you want to grow? And what it actually comes down to is they want to make more money. Mm-hmm. Well, if you do that by just growing, say you make 10% margin on everything, just for the sake of argument. So for every grand you put into a job, you walk away with 100 quid profit, just for the sake of argument. I mean, it is more complicated because you've got fixed overheads, you've got variable cost of sale, all that kind of shit. But let's just say on average over a year, for every grand you put into a fucking job or the business, you get 100 quid out profit. To double that, you've got to do twice as much work. That's growing. And then, of course, you get these step changes because, you know, maybe it gets to a point when you need to buy another van or take on another employee. All of a sudden, that eats up an enormous amount of the profit because there's not quite enough, there's too much business for, say, 2 blokes or 1 bloke. Yeah, just say 1. There's too much work for 1 bloke, but not quite enough for 2. So while you take on a second person, and then while that person's underemployed, you're actually subsidizing them. So, you know, your profits go up in a sawtooth like that. But what you find at the end of the day is, at the end of the year, you might have doubled your profits. So instead of I don't know, 10K, you made 20K, but you've worked at least twice as hard, possibly more because of this period. That's growth. And as some brands have found, in particular, that fucking online shoe one, I always forget what it was called. Uncontrolled growth is effectively like cancer in the human body. It can destroy you because you've got this massive business and it might be profitable, barely, but the thing is, it's so big, it's absolutely and utterly susceptible to cash flow problems. You've only got to hit one tiny little hiccup and everything falls apart. I have to wonder at some of these big chains, you know, for instance, I think it was WH Smith. I'm not saying they've got problems, but I think they were valued at something like 400 million some years ago. And their biggest bill, of course, is their wages bill, which is gigantic. You know, it's you imagine how much that is. It's a vast amount of money. So they need to have a fucking huge churn of cash every month to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. Well, something like COVID might come along, and all of a sudden footfall just dies off, and they could be real shit. Now, I'm not saying that Smiths are in real shit. That's just an example. But a business which is desperate, has massively high overheads, and is desperately dependent on cash flow. When that cash flow is hit, and as it can be, you know, they're in real fucking trouble. So, really, we should be looking at what we call scaling, where you actually increase the profits rather than increase the volume of work. And the key to that, quite simply, is margins. You know, and the easiest way to increase your margins is, well, there's 2 ways. There's one is to decrease costs, either your fixed costs or your variable cost of sale, and increase your prices. That's it. You know, it's that simple. And of all those, in many ways, increasing your prices is the best way to go, because cutting costs is good, but you know, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. And because often cutting costs means cutting service, and you don't want to do that. It's almost a cliche how a lot of businesses have cut their costs by either outsourcing service centres, call centres to India and places, or indeed you can't even get on the phone with them. It's all email and it's really patchy. That causes a lot of fucking shit for some people.
Yeah, most people just want to be able to pick up the old blower, and fucking get their problems sorted out. ASAP.
They can't do that with us, and that's quite deliberate. But we're in real terms, that we're a very small business like that, 3 people. And if they do need help, they've got Holly on the email almost immediately.
Yeah, and furthermore, none of the services we provide are ever critical to the running of the individual's business. It's not like we're a ISP or a marketing agency. And we've clicked go on the wrong ad or something along those lines. Those sort of businesses, I think it's good to have some form of emergency hotline.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But so really, you know, this idea of business growth, And you know, there's guys in our industry who are selling themselves on "will grow your business." I mean, I guess I didn't help matters by my first book was called "Grow Your Business Fast," and indeed our entire operation is called the Grow Your Operation, which is perhaps not in hindsight not the best name for it, because we didn't really just draw the distinction between growing and scaling. We knew what the distinction was, but it just didn't occur to us. We assumed, I think, people would understand.
We didn't. We've got a semi-different name now.
Yes, we have. We have the Off the Tools Collective. We even got a fucking logo. We're big boys now. We got big boy pants on.
We do. We have. I never want to work with any graphic designer ever again in my life. The next time we need any graphic design done, it will be a drawing that me and you have done, sent to someone to get it in the professional formats.
Well, we'll send it to that bloke, won't we? The one who did the logo.
Yeah, Abdul or whatever his name is.
I can't remember his name. But yeah, so you know, when this is for the listener, you're thinking about growing your business. Think very carefully. In fact, it is a good example for you. I spoke to a guy. This is the one, by the way, the guy who said to me at the beginning of the call, "Yes, I'll give you a yes or no." And at the end of it, I need to think about it. And then I said, "No, that's not what we agreed. You said you would give me a yes or a no now." And he says, "Well, I'm not going to. I'll be in touch." And I just said, "Don't bother."
Yeah, no way.
Offer. And his solution, inverted commas, because it was shit. I could see what his problem was, and he was just going to get an employee. And I said to him, all you're going to do is, if you do increase your profits, you'll do it incrementally. You won't be working any less hard, but now you're going to have 2 people struggling instead of just 1. You need a dramatic change in your entire strategy. But I don't know what he's doing now. For all I know, he's fucking died of COVID or something useful like that. Yeah, that's a good example. So, you know, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, we want to grow the business, think very carefully about what you mean. Are you looking at LinkedIn and watching people who are adding kit, adding people, adding contracts, adding buildings? Think very carefully if that's what you want. You know, I mean, again, I'm not bragging, but at one point I was doing just under $500,000 on my own in this office. Didn't even have an assistant. Well, that was extremely profitable, probably 90% profit. Reason being, I had the business sorted. Yeah, I knew about margins. I knew about how to get clients, how to close business, how to serve business. Right? I didn't just get more and more and more and more clients in. I had very few. I'd probably no more than 15 people at one time. But the point is, yeah, I did it intelligently. By charging high prices, I didn't fucking throw myself into the maelstrom of working ever harder at the going rate, as it's called. So think about that. If you're thinking about growing, think about what do you want to grow? And take it from me, you want to grow your profits. And the 2 ways to do that are cut costs and grow margins, increase your margins. And the easiest way to increase your margins. The easiest way to increase your margins is cutting costs and raising prices. And of those 2, by far the easiest and most satisfying is raising your prices. So yeah. Kind of. Scale. You are.
Yeah, I might have missed something, but you've shared how to scale your business safely, pretty in depth there. There's one thing here that you said you wanted to note that I didn't hear in there.
Well, there's 3 ways. I mean, that's really, I've already talked about the difference between growing and scaling. To scale your business safely, yeah. First thing is to enjoy your margins are high enough to make a decent profit per sale. That's really important, because otherwise you start falling into the trap of thinking we'll increase it, we'll make up any shortfall with volume of sales. And you know, I could show you the maths at some point. I'm going to put together a spreadsheet to go out with the book, which is coming out at the end of the month or beginning of next month. But we've seen it before, where on a 35% gross margin, if you decrease your selling price by just 2%, you have to increase your volume of sales by 11%. Well, that's not trivial, because not only have you got to do the work, especially if you're in a service industry, like I class the trades as a service industry, because you're actually doing work and you're not just selling a product, you know, in a box or something. So that's not a trivial thing. Not only have you got to do that work, but you've got to sell it. Or if you imagine if you've got to say a 50% conversion rate on sales, that means you've got to get to increase by 10%, you've got to increase by 20% the number of leads you get. You know, you've got to get, sorry, for every job you get, you've got to get twice as many leads because you've only got 50% conversion rate. So everything just scales up and it becomes unmanageable. Yeah? So the first thing is ensure your margins are high enough to make you a decent profit per sale. Don't go down this road of thinking, oh yeah, we can increase it with volume. Or we can make up for it with increased volume. Second thing is watch your overheads and fixed costs, because they can get out of control quite easily. So I know a lot of places, for instance, especially probably not so much builders and the trades necessarily, although that might come into it. You know, but certainly in businesses where they have an office, say advertising agencies, a classic one Dan Kennedy always uses, they'll pay through the nose to have an expensive exclusive address with all the expensive fucking chrome furniture and the glass walls and the glass tables. They will really go out of their way to try and impress clients. And that is a massive overhead. You know, those people, all that stuff has to be paid for whether or not you're making any sales. It's the same with your builders and stuff. You know, if it's great to get a new expensive van and get a nice fleet of vans and all this nice kit, but if you're paying for those, if you're not paid cash flow, if you're paying for those by some kind of finance, that has to be paid whether you're working or not. So always, watch your fixed costs. Your variable costs, not so bad, because although you do need to watch them, you only incur those costs once you've made a sale. There are the costs attached with making the sale, but also delivering the service on the spot. So first thing is, ensure your margins are high enough to make you a decent profit per sale. Also watch your overheads and fixed costs. And the third thing, which actually feeds into the second, is automate, delegate, or outsource whenever you can. Virtually everything, because here's the thing with most guys in the trades, and we've seen this time and time again. In fact, one guy even joined us with the express intention of fixing one thing, and that was not spending so much time at work on the phone, so he could take days off, weekends off, and be with his wife and 2 kids, and the third one it was on the way. So what he wanted to do, he was making plenty of money and stuff. That wasn't his problem. His problem was time. Well, the way he did that was automating, delegating, and outsourcing. Because the problem is, you see, most guys who are in the trades, they maybe got 1 or 2 guys working for them. Maybe they're sole traders. They're quite small. It does happen with bigger firms too, but they either set up on their own, or they leave employment and set up on their own, or they just kind of end up there because maybe the firm they're working for or with has gone bust, and they're doing everything themselves. So they are doing the work as well. They are invoicing, taking sales calls, making sales visits, doing quotes, ordering stationery, and it soon adds up. And most of this stuff is stuff they really shouldn't be doing. In fact, I would say most guys in the trades, if they want the kind of business which is going to make them an enormous profit, they need to be getting off the tools as quickly as possible, which is why we call it off the tools. But that's predicated on them becoming a proper business owner, not a craftsman or a tradesman. Automating, delegating, or outsourcing is fucking scary for most people. But what you don't realise is that even if the person you're delegating or outsourcing to is only doing 80% as good a job as you do, 80% done is better than 100% not done.
Yeah. It's only scary because you're worried they're going to fuck it up, and it's a loss of control.
Which they will. Sometimes.
Yeah, they will fuck it up. I don't think there's ever been an employee that's never made a fuck up in their life. I'm pretty sure every single person, even if they run their own company, has fucked up within their own company before. I know I sure have. I'm pretty sure you fucking have.
Oh,
I've been there for some of it. But you just got to get over it. But it really is a decision that you need to make if you want to be a business owner. You have to be prepared for all of this shit, and rather than get your knickers in the twist when all of this shit inevitably comes your way, you go, yeah, I expected this, so I was prepared. Here's what we're going to do instead. It's why we talk about systems, processes. It's why we got Holly on board ourselves.
Well, it's why we've got the fucking tradesman accelerator model.
Yeah.
That's a process. That's a system.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's designed to take the heavy lifting from most of this stuff, so you don't have to think about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. I think it was IBM, and I'm going back decades now. But someone at IBM made a big fuck up, and it cost them millions and millions. And the way it goes, the reporter said something along the lines of, so the guy who fucked up, you're gonna fire him now, and his boss said, why would we fire him? We've just spent several £1 million on training him. You know, which is a very healthy attitude to have. Now, one of the things we said to Holly when she joined us, we expect you to get it wrong and to fuck up. Now, the two important things are, one, try not to repeat your mistakes, because that is a problem, and two, don't try and hide them from us.
Yeah.
I remember years ago when I was fairly new to the game, and I got my first really big client of any consequence, a guy called Scott Tucker. He's kind of, he was the way in with Dan Kennedy's Platinum Guys, which kind of launched me my somewhat meteoric career as a copywriter. And I remember I did an ad for him, and I made a mistake in it. We had a list of all the territories that he had this coaching program. Yeah, all the territories were in the ad. We had the list of all the ones I think that had already gone, and I got it wrong. And I agonized, like, shit, I'll just say nothing and hope I get away with it. And I thought, well, no, that's not right. So I said to him, and it's already gone to print by now, I said, Scott, I've made this cock up. I got it wrong. Here's what I'll pay for the ad because it's my fault. And he just waved off, said, no, that's all right, it doesn't matter. As it happened, it didn't matter, because the way it worked was, I can't remember all the details, but because of the way I'd written the ad, it meant, because something was omitted, it meant that no one would apply for that place anyway, because it wasn't their sort of thing. And the reason for us putting that listing was to show social proof almost. So it didn't really matter anyway. But at the minute, of course, at that moment, in that panic, I thought, shit, I fucked up. I'll just try and hide it. I thought, oh, no, own up to it. Offer to pay.
Lurch.
Yeah, it's fucking real in the stomach, you know. Alexithymia be damned. But I just said to him, I'll pay for the ad to be, it's a couple of $1,000. And I couldn't afford it at the time, but I thought, well, better that than get caught out in a lie. And I wouldn't want to lie anyway. It's not right. But he just waved it off, said, no, it doesn't matter. Thank you for being honest with me. So fine. Similarly, client I got now, it looks like there's a page, it wasn't working properly. It wasn't hooked up. And I says, well, I'm sure I would have tested. I can't imagine this is my fault. But I can't imagine it's not either, because I don't know anyone else who's touched it. So all these ads, about 700 quid that was wasted on ads that couldn't go anywhere. I said, I'll pay that. It's easy. So, it's probably my fault, but even if it's not, I'll take responsibility for it anyway. Well, that kind of integrity goes a long way.
It's much nicer when you regain that control. Definitely. As well.
Definitely. But of course, that's, I mean, we kind of digressed a little bit there. But
what, us?
Us?
No, never.
Unbelievable.
We don't do that.
But I mean, we were talking about the fear of outsourcing, getting it wrong, but then also how if they do get it wrong, you must let them make mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, funny enough, I read this morning, I've unfollowed them. I've got a policy of doing this now, because otherwise you get sucked into their stupid. Somebody on Instagram is an autistic person who made the claim, and is proud of it. I don't want my son to become hardened to the world. I want to keep him protected and safe and soft. And I thought, you're not doing any favors at all.
No.
But rather than comment, because there's no point, I'll just unfollow. Well, in the same way as, if you cosset your children like that, autistic or not, they won't learn. And when they go out into the real world hurts. They will get hurt. They'll get a bloody nose.
Yes.
That's like, don't go into a boxing ring having never been hit before.
Yeah, I was going to make a similar analogy. That's like, that's like when children believe if they shut their eyes, a monster under their bed can't hurt them, just because they can't see it. That's ridiculous. If someone's pointing a gun at your head, you don't go, ha ha, I've got you. My eyes are shut. You cannot hurt me.
Well, I mean, when my kids were at primary school, so I'm going back 17, 18 years or so, perhaps a little bit more. the school they were at, one year they had a non-competitive sports day. Everyone got a medal. I just fucking laughed in the head teacher's face. I just said, "This is ridiculous." I said, "You know," he said, "Oh, we don't want children who don't win to feel excluded." I said, "Fuck that." I said, "There are winners and losers in life. There always will be. What lesson are you teaching these children? When they get out into the real world and they go for a job and they don't get the job they wanted, what's going to happen then? How will they deal with it? It's a lack of fucking resilience."
I want my kids gone.
He was one of the only school teachers I've ever heard of, head teachers I've ever heard of, who was removed from post. He was so weak and ineffectual. It was an embarrassment. He was pathetic. Yeah, he was pathetic.
I want, if my kid's fast as fuck, yes, an absolute specimen, you give him that fucking medal. He's run his little legs off, you give him that medal. On the other side, if he's a pussy little shit cunt, with puny little legs, I want him ridiculed. I want him pointed at, bullied, and laughed at. I will laugh. I'll do the buggering. I will point, I will fucking laugh. And I'll be like, "You come last, you little cunt, little fucker. You're not coming home. No dinner for you. You're walking, shit." And then, and then I'll make him fucking run home.
I remember at school and sports day, I don't think I ever won anything. I came second several times, but I didn't worry about it or cry. It just fucking motivated me to run faster next time. Still never fucking won, but there you go. You know.
I used to be very strategic, so I know all the really fast kids would all want to race each other at the running, and on sports day you're not allowed to do everything. You can only put your name down for a certain amount of events, but you must put your name down for one. So I would always wait right till the end of the deadline. I was usually fucking on the school council or head boy or head of year, whatever the top role I could get my hands on was. I'd be it. I'd sweet talk the teacher to let me see the list, and I'd look where all the other weakling kids had signed up for. Because I was athletic, I just wasn't very fast. So I'd see all of these fucking nerdy cunts doing shot put. It's like, well, I'm doing shot put, and I'd fucking thrash them. I would like double their score, and I'd get the first medal.
No, that is. Now I took the opposite view. When I was doing karate and when I was doing jiu-jitsu, I would pick the biggest, meanest person I could find to spar with, and I'd get hammered. That was good. It was good training, because then if I'm unlikely to meet someone that brutal in real life. The complete opposite of you, pathetic. That's
very different.
And that, you say, that's why I am me, and you need to be fucking held.
This is completely. You're a funny guy. That's so different. When I did, yes, it is. When I did taekwondo, give me the biggest, hardest person.
Oh yeah. When you did fucking taekwondo, you didn't do taekwondo.
Sports day, it's just fashion week for paedophiles.
Let's admit it.
I can't give a fuck if I'm faster than Chris in the year above. I couldn't give a shit.
Let's admit the truth. You never did taekwondo. You did ballet.
I did ballet. You're correct.
You did that's right. See, fucking Nuria.
How did you know?
It was the tights.
The state of these fucking trotters.
Put it away. I do not have a foot fetish for you anyway.
I do want to clarify, I didn't do fucking ballet. I did do quite taekwondo. And the reason I did that on sports day was because I didn't like sports day. I wanted to do the easiest one event I could and piss about at the back of the field with my friends and fucking play football. It was honestly, it's paedophile day. Paedophile day. They just let anyone walk in and sit there. I couldn't give a fuck. I'm not running 100 meters for this cunt's benefit. He's got his hand in his trousers. Could not give a fuck.
And you were the one who was going to take your own kids home and bugger them for losing the race. You need some serious fucking therapy, mate.
If they want to be good, at racing, and they care about coming first, so much that they're upset that they lost, then they should be upset.
How fast do you think your kids are going to run after you've buggered them? They're going to be all bandy-legged.
Well, I've got a little fucking pencil dick, so
that's true. Your girlfriend told me that in bed last night, to be honest.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be unaffected.
Anyway, so moving swiftly back to what we were saying, how the fuck we got onto buggering children on sports day from automating, delegating, or outsourcing, I don't know. But the very first thing every tradesman should automate or delegate, and it's the easy one. This is the number one. It's something you can do in, well, let's be generous. Okay, let's give them a long time to do this. So you've got to sign up to the website, maybe go for a paid subscription unless you're really fucking tight. And it's 10, 20 quid a month. It's going to take you no more than an hour to do this. That's the absolute max. You could probably do it in 15 minutes. It's going to take you longer to think about it and make your mind up and stop fretting about it than it is going to be to do it. It's going to take you longer to decide what hours you will allow these things to happen, and come into in a minute, than it will to actually do it. And I guarantee if you do it, your life will be immeasurably better at business anyway. And that is, you delegate or automate, preferably automate, but certainly delegate if you have to, your phone calls and your meeting schedules. Now, anyone watching this, it's easy. Just go to calendly.com, Calendly, so CALENDLY, I think that's it, .com, and get a free account or just pay for one. It's fucking cheap. Link it to your calendar, Google, Mac, whatever. I think it does the Mac. And all you do is you just set it up so people want to talk to you. You just set your free time, your busy time, and they book a call there and then. And it sends you an email. It sends them an email. You can if you're doing a Zoom call, you can integrate it with Zoom, so it sends them the link, sends the fucking link for the Zoom call, the room. It does all that, and then you never have to worry about it again. You set your voicemail to say, this is Fred. I don't take calls during these hours. If you want to book a call, go to this link. Put it on your website instead of your phone number. You put a link. If you want to book a scheduled call with me, go to this link. Yeah. It's fucking dead easy. We get all our guys to do it whenever we can, and they will tell me it's changed my life. Mm-hmm. And you can do the same thing with your meetings, because Google Calendar or similar, and Calendly isn't the only one. I mean, there's Schedule Once, which is a bit of a sledgehammer to crack a nut. But the Schedule Once, there's loads of them out there. Mm-hmm. But Calendly is the simple one, and they're simply putting a lot of work into development, so it's always improving. It integrates with Zapier to Active Campaign, so you can set up email sequences if you want to get clever, like we have done. It's brilliant, and it just means that you don't just get the phone ringing randomly. And what even better than that, you don't have this game of ping pong. So, hey John, let's have a chat. Oh, great, yeah, when next week? Yeah, what time? What days you got? Oh, how about Monday? No, I'm busy Monday. Oh, about Thursday? What, morning or afternoon? It just fucking don't have any of that. Here's my link, and it's got all your free time on there. It's fucking so epic. It's simple. I've been doing it for years now. Probably, I've not taken calls without appointment since as long as ago I can remember, a decade or more. But I've been using Calendly for several years, and it's just so much easier. And then on top of that, this is more sophisticated, and it's something we go into in detail in Foundations and in our Elite. But on top of that, then you have positioning such that you don't get on the call unless they're qualified anyway. So if you're, say, a freelancer, because I'll talk about freelancers because it's easy, but it's the same with builders, decorators, whatever. There's no point in getting on the phone with someone if they're not qualified. So like we had a kitchen fitting client, and we basically beat him into submission. So he would then make it very plain. Our minimum price kitchen is 15 grand. If you don't have 15 grand to spend, there's no point in even talking to us. Yeah. Well, most people would be afraid to do that. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you be afraid to do that? Because if you're not going to sell them a cheaper than 15k kitchen, why not just say that? You'll actually find you'll get possibly more requests, because there are people out there who will gravitate towards someone with the fucking testicles to say, we don't do cheap kitchens. Our minimum kitchen's 15 grand. I'd like to deal with them because they're quite posh, So yeah. There is qualifying criteria can be applied not just through Calendly, because you can have questions on there as well, but you can send them to a type form or similar. You can do loads and loads and loads of shit with this kind of system, Calendly and the integrated systems of Zapier, to automate this entire process. So you're only getting on the phone with people who are qualified. And this goes back to what we've said in previous episodes, where the kind of conversations you're having are, when can you start, John? Not what can you do and how much does it cost? Yeah. this is one of the parts, one of the component parts we have in place. I'm giving it to you guys for free. Calendly, Zapier, if you need it to active campaign or similar, and your Google Calendar. You can get it set up within the hour. A numpty could do it within the hour. It may take you even less time than that, and it will save your life. If you must delegate it, then just give it to your assistant. There's loads of systems, there's loads of things out there. There's the one that springs to mind is Moneypenny. Is it moneypenny.com?
Yeah.
There's exactly what it says on the tin. If you're a fan of James Bond, they will take calls, they will work to scripts. Some of them will transcribe, depending on what level you go. I think you can get a transcription service, so they'll take a message and transcribe it. The point is, no one running a serious business, no matter how big that business is, whether you're a one-man band, subcontractor, sole trader, running a team of 10 or 20 employees doing bigger jobs and with several vans going to different houses or whatever, or indeed running a multinational company, no one in their right mind who wants to run a profitable business with high margins should be just taking random phone calls from employees or from fucking clients.
Yeah. Open door policies philosophy does not work if you're a boss.
What was that?
Open door philosophies or policies do not work when you're a boss. Business owner, to employees, to clients, it just it creates a happy clappy environment for fucking half an hour, and then it all goes tits up very, very.
Yeah, I mean, let's be very clear about this. You know, not having an open door policy does not mean to say you're not approachable. Because I'm approachable. You know, I mean, I know from people on the outside, you might think I am a grumpy old man, but you know, people would be forgiven for thinking I'm unapproachable, unreasonable, and hard to talk to. Absolutely not. But what you can't do is just muscle in on my fucking operation, walk in my door and start talking to me. I don't care who you are. Not even Sarah would do that, my wife.
Unless there's a rabbit in the
ensuite. But even then, she knocked on the door and says, you know, take your time, it's fine. You know, don't have to do it now. But I did it because we'd finished what we were saying. So it doesn't have it. Not having an open door policy does not make you unapproachable or distant. It just means that your time is protected, because we said this before, you should be in your business. If you want to do a proper job of it, you should be like Captain Kirk wasn't. You should be the captain of your ship, sitting in your chair, directing your first officer to do things, not going down to the planet. You should be the captain of the ship. Your job is strategy and direction. If you want to change direction, you tell the helmsman to change direction. You want something doing, you tell the first officer. You do not push the helmsman out the way and grab the controls yourself, or go down to fucking engineering and fix the transporters. Yeah? Star Trek was great, but it was highly unrealistic. Real captains do not do that. They have to make the hard decisions. That's part of the fucking job. And you can't do that if you're forever on the phone with people, or indeed on the tools. And here's the danger inherent in the current boom. Now, we talked about it before, but this is another facet of it. The current boom means the guys will be busy, they'll be flush with work, flush with money, throwing themselves into being on the tools and giving no thought whatsoever to this kind of strategic approach. And it won't last forever. And when it doesn't last, when it does all cave in, as it will, whether it trails off or stops suddenly, you'll be back where you were, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. And you can bet your life they won't be saving their money either, because they'll be putting all their money into growing rather than scaling.
Mm-hmm. And to go by the stereotypical tradesman, they love to go out and get themselves a brand new Range Rover for them and the missus, matching on finance.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they've got a point to prove that they weren't just the idiot kid at school that was never going to amount to much. Just for the teacher to be proven right when it all falls back down on their heads.
Yeah,
we should call that segment "How Anyone with £10 Can Change Their Life in 10 Minutes."
We should do what, mate?
That little segment could have been called "How Anyone with £10 Can Change Their Life in 10 Minutes."
Yeah, we can change the name of it by all means, but it's true.
It's just really that. If you got a fucking tenner in 10 minutes to improve your business,
you got a tenner a month in 10 minutes once, you'd sorted.
Easy, simple. And some people try and tell us that it doesn't work, and every client we've ever had goes, "Oh wow, what a simple tweak, but wow, what a difference."
I mean, it makes things so. I mean, it's superb for positioning too. Imagine this conversation. This isn't verbatim, but this is representative of what happens on LinkedIn all the time with me and my clients as well, and you as well, of course. Hi, John. I'm really interested in what you do. I'd like to pick your brain. And of course, I charge for picking my brain. But what I would do, I'd go, yeah, that's great. Here's a link, you can book a call. They'd go and book the call. They'd have to pay for it, and then I'd get on the call. I don't have to discuss it. I don't have to argue about it. Don't go backwards and forwards. That is so powerful with positioning as well, because you're not needy. You're not desperate. You're just saying, yeah, we can talk and just book a call. My convenience. I'm in control here. All the guys do it. It's so much easier. And if you want to qualify, you can say, well, okay, before we do that, I need to know a little bit about your business. So what's your challenge? What business are you in? And what would you like to achieve? Those three things, triage questions. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Here's a link to book the call. Fucking job done. We do that for our triage calls. We do it for our round table calls. We don't have to really get involved with any of this because the systems do it for us.
Yeah.
It's childishly simple.
If we're not trying to get people on a round table or something of a similar ilk, I often say, if you want to chat, just email Holly, give the email address. She manages my calendar and she'll see if she can fit you in. And she most of the time she just blows them off. But if they do get through, they get sent the calendaring link anyway. It's just immediate handoff, super positioning. If you want to talk to my assistant. She manages my calendar, not me.
Or I mean, again, something else I bet guys in the trades get as well. And that is, I know Anthony does the QS, and I get it sometimes. Love what you're doing. Let's chat. Phone them.
Yeah.
Anybody who rings that number. So if you're getting calls like this and you ring that number, you're a fucking muppet because you have just lost control of the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
The correct response, in my opinion, the one that positions you, is along the lines of steady on a minute, I don't know anything about you. Those three triage questions: what's your challenge? What business you're in? What are you trying to achieve? Okay, well, you can book a call with me here. All of a sudden, you've turned it around. You would be amazed at how meek and mild people become when you do that. You've distanced yourself from the entire thing. You've taken all the heavy lifting out of it. You're not desperate for what. You're not chasing them. You're not ringing them up when they say. And you know what fucking happens anyway? You ring them up and they're in the van or they're busy. Oh, can I talk later? So you're there, fucking left ring like a stupid cunt. 3, 4, 5 times. Please talk to me. I want some work. Please, please, please. No, fuck off. Answer these 3 questions. You fucking set up a call with me, you cunt. And maybe we'll work together. Something like that. It works.
Someone's gonna listen to this and go, "Oh, I can't do that." Yes, you can.
No, like Henry Ford said. If you believe you can or believe you can't, you're probably right.
Hey. Henry Ford said that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Along those lines, the actual quote is, oh, for fuck's sake, Henry Ford. Did you know Henry Ford's grandparents' grave is just up the road from me, Ballinscarthy?
Henry Ford's grandparents?
Henry Ford's grandparents' graves are at Ballinscarthy.
Oh, graves. I thought you said her name was Henry Ford's grandparents' Grace. I was like, John, they're fucking having you on. They're well dead. Oh, I believe that. But why are they there? Because he was American, wasn't he?
Well, they came from around here, Ballinscarthy.
Ah, fair enough. The more you know.
Whether you think you can or think you can't. Hang on, here we go. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
But yes, his grandparents came from just up the road from me. It's probably 5-6 miles away. That's a little bit more. Ballinscarthy. When you drive through, there's a stainless steel Model T Ford at the side of the road. And then as you're going towards Cork, on the left, there's a little side road. And just in there, there's the little cemetery. That's where the grave is. I've got photos of it somewhere. The Americans love that kind of shit.
Yeah, they do. Anywho, are we hating today?
We're hating.
We're hating. And what are we hating?
Everything! And everyone, you're all a fucking bunch of cunts. What we're hating today is people who won't pay for expert advice, especially those who criticise others for making the same mistake. I see it with the trade all the fucking time.
I see this with you all the fucking time. The amount of shit, you rip into me. Yeah, the amount of times you've ripped into me for the clobber I wear, and you're sat there with a fucking blue vest with a pink trim on it.
That's not the same thing at all. That's not the same thing at all. Nothing like it. Yeah, I tell you what, I think you're fucking retarded.
No, you criticise me for having bad fashion choices, yet you yourself have awful fashion choices.
Here's the thing, right? Let's get this very clear. That is subjective. Here we're talking about something objective. You, mate, are fucking retarded.
This is called dramatising things for entertainment.
Yeah, you're entertaining. Retarded people usually fucking are.
I've killed someone, and I ain't afraid to do it again. All right?
Oh fuck me, please. I've actually had
my brown belt in Taekwondo.
I don't know where you got that from, but I've actually had those words said to me when I was a doorman.
Really?
Paraphrased, yeah. I've killed people.
You just laughed.
I fucking pissed myself. I said, I've killed people before. I'm not afraid to come after you, mate. I just said, fucking come on, then. Do it now. Never mind in the future. Do it right now.
Yeah.
I'm fucking warning you. I'm here. Hello. Please do it.
Yeah. No one who says something like that ever means it. Because if you're that fucked up in the head and you're that much of a lunatic, it's on site. You just go. You don't go, I will find you, Mr. Random Doorman.
I'll come back at some point because I'm too scared to do it right now.
Yeah. What's going to be different then to now?
Yeah, exactly. And people would sometimes say, let's go outside. I just say, what's wrong with in here right now? Shit. Anyway, so people who won't pay for expert advice, especially those who criticise others for making the same mistake, this is particularly applicable to tradesmen. I see it all the time.
All right.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Are you ready?
Yes. Listen, you fucking tradies. Listen to this, you cunts.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right, here's a fucking cliche for you. Someone in the trades, whether they're a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, carpenter, fucking electrician, plumber, whatever, you'll post a picture on LinkedIn of some really shit fucking botched job. And you'll give a long spiel, quite correctly, of how stupid that person was, how inept they are, how incompetent they are. And you will basically say, do not go cheap. Pay an expert. Do not do this yourself. This is shoddy work. Buy cheap, buy twice. All that stuff, which is absolutely fucking correct. And then what do? When you want to fix your business, you will ask random fucking strangers on LinkedIn, people like massage therapists, warehouse fucking keepers, truck drivers, for business advice. And you won't pay someone like me or Connor to do it for you. You are a fucking towering, massive, erect, throbbing, jizz-spurting fucking hypocrite. Because we are experts. You are doing exactly what you criticize other people for doing. Stop doing it. If you want expert advice and you want an expert job done properly, pay a fucking expert, moron.
You're done good.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if people think I'm really angry when I'm doing that.
I can't hear you anymore. What's happened?
All right.
Have you slapped your desk so hard your mic's unplugged?
Can't you hear me?
I genuinely can't hear you, John.
Oh. Well,
this is great. He's had a 1 minute hate so hard. He slapped the fuck out his desk and just came over.
It's coming up on
It could be on my end. You think it's on my end?
Well, it's certainly coming up on the there I am. It's coming up on Zoom. Zooming is hearing it.
Yeah, I know what happened there.
Right.
Anyway, I can hear you now. What happened is the timer went off on the iPad, and because these AirPod Pros have an also switch feature to whatever's playing, it switched to my iPad.
So anyway, what I was saying was, I wonder if people think I'm really angry when I'm doing that.
I wonder. No, I reckon they know. Surely.
Don't know.
No one can be just. No, because it's quite evident that you turn it on and you turn the anger on and you level it up and you go large.
like my cock.
It's like when McDonald's go, oh, do you want to go large with that? You go extra fucking large.
Do I look like the kind of fat bastard who wants to go large? No. Oh dear, yes. Mondays are always a little bit rambunctious, aren't they?
Yeah, Monday.
Probably because I haven't spoken to you for the whole weekend. Because you don't answer your fucking messages, do you?
You didn't message me this week.
I did.
For saying what?
Would you like to be held?
No, please.
Please. Right, anyway, I've got shit to do, not like you like, you idle cunt. So, if you'd like to attract better clients in your business, charge them higher fees, rates, or prices, and have them all delivered to you in a pipeline, which itself is filled in the background, hands off on an autopilot. Notwithstanding the fact that work is easy to come by, all it means is the bell curves move to the right. And you're substantially no better off than you were. You need to build a strong, sustainable base for this, for when it stops working so well. Okay? You want all that, so you're making more money, less work, less hassle, fewer headaches, and your safety, you're inoculated against the changes for the future. Go to ottpodcast.co.uk and avail yourself of our free resources. In the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, go large at McDonald's, and do not shit on your fingers. Goodbye.
Ciao for now.